Hey, we are live. We are live. I'm Jeff with eBay Addicts, and today my special guest is Romer the Romer. How are you doing, man?
What up? I'm doing well.
Good. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Romer the Romer. I'm the book guy on YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, Tinder, everywhere. You'll find me everywhere. I sell used books, and I've sold over $1 million in used books now. Isn't that crazy? Over $1 million in used books. It just blows my mind that I've sold that much over the past 3 years. In the past 12-month period, I've sold 700,000. And yeah, I kind of became known as a book guy on Instagram and all these platforms because I've been documenting my journey from when I used to live in my car. I don't know if you followed me way back then, but I was living in my car, just doing silly stuff. Like I didn't even know really what I was doing. And then I scaled to the point where I have like a real business now that generates me like over 10,000 profit each month. So
Romer the Romer, I gotta ask you a question, man. How old are you now? You look young to me. You look like you're like real still young. Like I'm gonna guess like
I'm gonna have you guess. How old do you think I am?
Probably around 24, 25, somewhere around that age.
Yeah, 25.
So yeah, I was close. I was like, man, he looks really young to me, man. I don't know why, but
somebody thought I was like 19 the other day.
I wasn't going to say that. So anyways, man, tell me about your journey, because you're basically a full-time reseller now, correct? I'm going to put you on full screen. You're basically a full-time reseller, and you specialize in selling books on Amazon, but you also sell CDs, DVDs, and other things besides just books, correct?
Yeah. So in the past 12 months, I've done around 250,000 in CDs and DVDs, and the rest of that, whatever number I said, 700,000. So about 450,000 to 500,000 in used books. So I started doing this. I started selling my own textbooks years ago out of my dorm room, and I started selling my friends' books as well. So I was a college student. The cost for textbooks were outrageous. And when you would sell them back to the bookstore, they would pay you pennies on the dollar for what you paid for the books. I'd pay $180 for an organic chemistry book, and I would go to sell it at the bookstore, and they'd offer me 18 bucks. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm gonna learn how to sell it myself. And in the meantime, I think I came across Reezy's channel or Caleb Ross' channel. I'm not sure which one I came across first, but I just needed some help in the process of like shipping books. So their videos kind of helped me ship books. And then it's the only thing that consistently made me money that was like so easy to do. Like I've probably been in like, if you count all my stupid business ventures, probably like 10 plus business ventures in my life that I've semi-taken seriously. And this is like the one thing that it was just so easy to make money. And I was like this doesn't take much effort of my time. You know, it doesn't take much time or effort, and I'm able to consistently like get paid. So I scaled that from just selling my books to selling my friends' books. And then I went back to these YouTube channels, those two guys I mentioned, and I saw that they were not only just selling their own collection of books, but they were going out and finding books. So I figured I can go and I can find books at thrift stores, libraries, college campuses, and that's really how I took my business to the next level.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to say hi to Jennifer Hayes is in the chat. Thank you for coming by. We got Sleepless Hustler is here. Sleepless Hustler says, it's the man. I remember you sleeping in the car. So apparently he remembered you. So yeah. Tell me about your backstory. You used to travel a lot, right? You used to travel across the country a lot?
After college, I kind of had like a quarter life crisis. Or I was talking to a girl recently, and she was like, because I was 21 at the time. I guess it's not even a quarter life crisis, like a fifth of my life crisis. But I was just like, I knew that if I went to physical therapy school to pursue a doctorate degree, a large chunk of my life would be in an office. And even though I enjoyed physical therapy, I enjoyed learning about the human body, and the pay is $60,000 to $80,000 a year. It's not bad. I'd have to go to school for 3 more years, and I knew after that I'd have like 2 weeks vacation. It just freaked me out. And I didn't think I'm going to become a book seller and sell $1 million in books on Amazon. Like that wasn't my goal. My goal was to make some side money and make enough side money to provide for myself living in my car. And I wanted to live in my car because I could travel the whole country and my expenses were like nothing. You know, like it was gas, food, and that was about it. Inventory was like another expense of mine, but that I didn't need inventory to survive. That was like a separate business cost. So I was living in my car, going to California, all over the country. Most of the time I was actually like traveling, like being a tourist. I would go to the Grand Canyon. in California, I went everywhere from like the desert to Yosemite. And in the meantime, when I would go into cities and I would get books, I would pack them, I'd get books like this, go inside thrift stores, take my phone and just scan the hell out of all the books. And I would pack all the profitable books in a box, ship them out to Amazon FBA. It's a program where they store the books for you and they fulfill them to the customer. And so all of it was like, I was in a Corolla. I could live in my Corolla. I would sleep in like Walmart parking lots, rest stops, friends' houses, or outside friends' houses, sometimes inside the house. But most of the time it was more comfortable to sleep in my car than sleep inside their house, believe it or not. Because my car was like it sounds like a sob story, but it's not. Like my car was legitimately pimped out. Like I had a wrestling mat laid down. I had a full bed. Like it was nice. Like the Toyota Corolla I was living in, it was. I do not regret it. It wasn't like I had sleepless nights. Like it was a very good experience. And so I got to live probably like I probably spent about $1,000 a month because I wasn't the most frugal when it came to my food, but I was able to live very, very cheap and have no rent or anything like that. And that's kind of when I developed a little bit of attention on myself from vlogging my journey. And it just allowed me to scale a social media following, which really is like the heart of my business now, is having a social media following. And that really allowed me to scale my book business to the next level, because I found a lot of people can't sell restricted textbooks, popular textbooks. So I started restrictedinventory.com, the business of mine where I sell other resellers' textbooks. So now the 10,000 followers I have on Instagram are not only just my followers, they're also my clients because they're sending me inventory. So I found a way to start doing this like on the side just for an extra couple thousand a month to really take it to the next level to where I'm making like 10,000 plus profit each month. So it's really been a crazy experience over the last few years.
All right, awesome. I wanted to say hi to Sleepless Hustler is in the chat. He says, have you noticed more restrictions on books on Amazon? Have you had any restrictions? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, that's the heart of my business, restrictedinventory.com. So there's ever since like a couple of years ago, they started restricting everybody and they don't let new accounts sell textbooks. So I wouldn't say there's more restrictions. They're just not letting new people sell textbooks. If you have a grandfathered account, which I think was before 2016, they let you sell popular textbooks. And then even a lot of those people can't sell popular textbooks. A lot of people can, or they used to be able to sell popular textbooks and they get gated like that.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to say hi to Red Dirt Picker. I think I saw you with Buffalo Picker's channel the other day. I subscribed to your channel, man. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out. Today we're hanging out with Romer the Romer. He's known as the book guy. He said he sold over $1 million in books on Amazon. So I don't know if you want to tell us or not, but out of this $1 million that you sold, what do you think your net profit was out of those $1 million worth of books that you sold? Like, I mean, was it maybe 30%, 40%? Like, what is your average? Like, if you go to the thrift store and you bought a book for $1, like, would it sell for $15, $20? Like, elaborate, like, what you think it would be.
The net profit, and keep in mind that I paid like $60,000 last year to my employees to pack books for me. So it's going to be around 25, 30%. And that's also because every book I sell on consignment. Like 99% of the books I sell now, I'm selling on consignment. So that means I get the book for free. I don't pay for the book up front, but I'm obsessed with textbooks. Like I get textbooks from college campuses. I get textbooks from my following, and my average textbook sales price hovers between $40 and $50. So if a textbook sells for $50, I'm probably taking home gross profit 35, and I'm splitting that 50-50 with somebody else. So I'm really making about $17, $19 profit, which is still really good. Like a lot of booksellers, their average price is like $15. So even though I'm giving away half of my revenue, I got paid $400,000 from Amazon last year. Like that's $400,000 into my bank account. That's scary for taxes. Even though $200,000 is right out to my consigners, it's still a lot of money at the end of the day because my average sales price is so high. So that's why I focus on higher dollar books over cheap books that sell for $11 a piece.
All right, awesome. Yeah, I sell on eBay, and most of my audience also sells on eBay. So, kind of give us behind the scenes. Why should someone make the leap to start selling on Amazon FBA? Can you kind of tell us a little bit about, why they should sell on Amazon FBA and how they should go about doing that? Like, if they wanted to create a new account from scratch, would you recommend they get the free version? Should they get the $40 a month pro version? Like, what should they do? Go ahead, I'll put you back on full screen.
What I would do is I would invest. It depends on how much you're doing a month on eBay, if you're a full-time seller. But if you're putting anything more than like 10 hours a week in your business, highly recommend going pro. The benefit of having a pro account is you're not paying $1 per book that sells. So if you don't have a professional account, you're paying $1. Amazon charges a $1 fee per book that sells. So you're not paying that anymore. And you can also have access to third-party apps like ScoutIQ, which is an app for anybody that doesn't know, all the eBay people out there that don't know about ScoutIQ. I'll show you real quick. You can take this app and you scan the book, and it tells you which ones, it tells you exactly how much profit the book is, and it actually makes a decision for you. It tells you, should you or should you not purchase this book? I'm gonna get some light on because the sun's coming in. 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
There we go. I have a bad habit during these interviews. I don't even need these headphones on. Why am I wearing these headphones? I have a bad habit during these interviews to, like, my face is like a shadow sometimes. So
it's fine. We can see you just fine. So
okay. But yeah, what I was saying is ScoutIQ is it's this app here, and what you can do is you can scan the book, and it tells you exactly. Let's see if I can scan it here. So it tells you, it turns red if it's not good, and it tells you how much profit it would be, and it turns green if it's profitable. So it'll turn green like that if it's profitable. So you can see if I sold this, it would make me $19 profit. And you can use these apps if you have an Amazon professional account. If you don't have an Amazon professional account, you can't use those apps. So that's the benefit of having a professional account. And really, the benefit of going from eBay to Amazon is, number one, it's more passive. So with Amazon FBA, you pack your items in a box, you ship them out, and your whole business is operating without you because Amazon handles returns, Amazon handles customer service. That means with all the eBay back and forth messages between the customers, Amazon handles all that. So you don't have to worry about that anymore. Amazon also, like, they literally pack it in a box for you. So no more shipping, they handle tracking, they handle everything. So all you need to do is price the book to make it sell, which leads to my second point. So the first point is passivity, more passive income. There's, it's arguable that there's no such thing as passive income, but it's more passive than not. Like, it's certainly not passive income because you have to go find the books and ship them to Amazon. But after you do that, all you need to do is price the books to make sure they sell. And so when you price the books versus eBay, on eBay, if you price a book, you're generally pricing against sold listings or what the general competition is. But on Amazon, you're still pricing against the competition, but you only care about other Prime offers. So most people in here, I don't know, eBay people might be different, but most people in America have a Prime Amazon membership. 2/3 of American homes have Prime memberships, which is absolutely insane. So there's so much attention on Prime that you can actually sell your book for more. So for example, this book probably sells for about $19 on eBay, maybe $15, but I could sell it for $25 Amazon FBA because people are willing to pay more for free shipping. See, Amazon, they offer free shipping, but it's not really free shipping because you're paying more for the products. Yeah, every once in a while you'll order toothpaste for like $3 and it actually will arrive on your doorstep, and I don't even see how people are making profit from selling those items. But most Prime products are actually sold at a very stark premium, like 20–30%. So that means if you're selling a $100 book, if a book sells for $100 on eBay, it's probably going for more on Amazon anyway because there's more demand. But let's pretend that they're equal among these two platforms. Let's pretend they're both going for $100. On Amazon, you can get like a 20% premium just for being a Prime seller. So you can actually sell the book for a whole lot more. So that's why it makes sense. You're selling the product for more and you're doing less work.
Okay, awesome. I got a few questions for you as far as the ScoutIQ. How much do they charge you? Is it like a monthly fee that you have to pay for the ScoutIQ? And can you adjust the settings to say, hey, I only want to look for books that are $10–15 profit? And you said it will light up red, and then you said it will light up green. Is there a way where you have like a Bluetooth scanner to scan the books? Like, is there a way to do it more efficiently? Can you talk a little bit about the app and how you go about using it?
Yeah, so the Bluetooth scanner, you can connect the Bluetooth scanner directly to your phone, and so you can scan the barcode of the book, and that just allows you to scan faster. If you're old school, you don't feel like doing that, or not even really old school. If you just don't, if you're a minimalist and you don't want to have to invest in a scanner, you can just use your phone like this, and then you can scan the barcode, boom, like that, and you can program this app to do a lot of different things. This barcode screwed up. It might be a counterfeit book. A lot of counterfeit books out there. I think this book's counterfeit. You can program the app to only go after certain profit. So right now it's turning red, but I could actually drop my profit threshold if I wanted to. This is actually a really good book. This book sells multiple times an hour. This is a very high demand book. And it's factored in the buy cost. So you see here, that's the buy cost, $1 buy cost. It's factoring in that I'm paying that much for the book. And it tells me what my profit would be after I purchased the book. So this would make me about $3 profit if I got it for free. So if I got it for free instead, you see it turns green. I recommend for my students to invest in $4 books and above, like $4 profit and above, because if you focus too much on the cheap books, your business is going to be like a lot of packing and shipping books that are making you 50 cents profit. And it's very hard to scale a book business as a solopreneur. If you don't have a big warehouse, it's very time consuming to pack all those books. Again, I paid $60,000 last year for my employees to pack books. The year before that, I probably paid like, I don't know, less than $10,000. And the year before that, I did all the packing myself. So packing is very time consuming. That's why I delegated it. And it's important to not oversaturate your, I guess, your listers or if you're listing all your products yourself, you don't want to be listing hundreds and hundreds of books that are only going to be making you 50 cents to $1 each. So that's why I focus on the higher dollar books.
Yeah, I was told if you're just getting started on Amazon, it's okay to sell items that have less profit just because you're trying to get reviews on your account. Would you recommend?
That's a valid reason, and I can see that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. We got a bunch of questions in the chat. Justin, the flipping accountant here, is hanging out with us. Thanks for stopping by, Justin. I appreciate you. We got a question. He says, what tips can you offer to identify counterfeit books? So how do you know if you're looking at a book? How do you know if it's a counterfeit book or if it's legit?
So number one, the barcode won't scan on ScoutIQ or with the barcode or with the Bluetooth scanner. So this barcode here, it's got a really thick line here. That's why it's not scanning. So the barcode's not real. It's a counterfeit barcode. Also, this is a counterfeit book. This is a good example. Good thing I have this here for this question. So you see how on the front of this book here, that little circle emblem is actually coming on the front of the book. It's like off center. That's what's happening. It's like it's coming from. It should just be on this, right? It should just be on the spine of the book, but it's actually coming to the front of the book. So it's like the whole book's kind of like off center. When you go through the pages, the page numbers, it's gonna be hard to do this on video, but you can look at the page numbers and they'll jump around. So they won't stay still. So most page numbers, this is actually not doing it, but sometimes the page numbers will jump around because the printing's off. Inside the book, you'll see like the words are like, see how the words are so close to the middle? It's like I really have to open the book to see the words. Most books, yeah, when it's kind of like this, you can read it and you're fine, and there's plenty of space here. You can tell this book was it's a bootleg book. There's also too much space on the edge here. So I'm surprised that this is actually flush with the edge of the book, but there's way more space here than what we're used to. So the off center and the weird barcodes are two really big red flags. Textbooks are more counterfeit than other books because they're more expensive. So why make a counterfeit book if it's not worth that much? If you're gonna make a counterfeit book, you might as well make it the most profitable book possible. That's why they go after the textbooks. And yeah, those are really the red flags to look out for. If you guys want to learn more about counterfeit books, go to stopcounterfeitbooks.com. It's a great website, great resource to identify counterfeit books. They have quizzes you can go through. Pretty cool website.
All right, cool. Sleepless Hustler, he asked a question. He says, what are some negatives for to sell on Amazon?
The fees are higher, but you also get the benefit of prime pricing. So you can price your book for more. So generally it kind of balances out. Even though the fees are higher than on eBay, because with Amazon FBA, I don't know, does eBay charge 10% or 15% of the sale price?
It depends on what category it is. Usually it's 10%. And before they switched over to PayPal, it was like 3.5% or something for PayPal fees. So it was around 13, 14%, sometimes 15%, depending on the category, by the time you did your transaction fee and eBay fees.
So Amazon's already higher there. Amazon takes 15% every time, but there's also the FBA fees on top. So there's more fees, but again, it doesn't really matter because you can price the book for more. So sometimes there's more profit to sell on eBay. Sometimes that's just how markets work. That's why arbitrage exists. You can arbitrage from Amazon to eBay, but you can also arbitrage from eBay to Amazon. Most of the time you can arbitrage from eBay to Amazon because that's another benefit of selling on Amazon. There's way more demand on Amazon than there is on eBay. There's more attention online than ever now. So there's 12% of marketplace sales used to occur online prior to this whole crazy time we're living in with COVID. After all this pandemic stuff, online sales actually increased 4 times, up to like almost 50%. So 50% of sales occur online now versus brick and mortar stores. So there's so much more attention online. On eBay, there's more attention. On Amazon, there's more attention. But Amazon makes up 60% of online sales. So there's so much attention on Amazon that it's going to make the prices higher, and you're going to sell your items faster.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So you're basically saying that the sell-through rate is going to be quicker on Amazon as opposed to eBay because you have more buyers on the platform. Red Dirt Picker here, he says, what types of collectible books can we look for? So if you're out there, you said textbooks. Is there any other particular like collectible books or anything that we should be on the look for? Like if I go to a thrift store or I go somewhere and they have a lot of books, is there something in particular that I should look for? Like, go ahead.
The car manuals are always good. If I see the car manuals, I know those are good. Nonfiction is really good, just nonfiction in general. Any type of weird niche book, bullfighting, sailboating, manatee books, like anything that is a niche book, like a weird topic, is good. So just keep your eyes peeled for nonfiction religious books. I sold a Jewish set of books for $2,000. There's a lot of different categories. Textbooks are amazing. Keep your eye out for textbooks. There's so many different types of books to look out for. I apologize for that phone noise there. But yeah, just probably at the beginning, stay away from fiction until you really know what you're doing, because you'll get discouraged with fiction because there's not that much profit in fiction. So.
Okay, I got a couple questions for you. So what happens if I accidentally send in a counterfeit book to Amazon? Will they flag your account? Like if you didn't know any better and you were just like, oh, I'm just uploading these books and I'm shipping them into Amazon FBA, what will happen? Will they flag your account? Will you get suspended? Like what will they do if you did it accidentally, like you didn't know?
It depends on who the publisher is, how much weight they have with Amazon, how strong of, I guess, what does Amazon think about their opinion? Really, like what can they do to Amazon? So like these big publishers, these big textbook publishers threaten to sue Amazon. So Amazon is really respectful to them. So you definitely want to be careful with McGraw-Hill and Pearson. But most people are safe because McGraw-Hill and Pearson, they have the restricted textbook. So most people aren't even going to be able to sell those textbooks. So they're not going to have to deal with the counterfeit or the harsh repercussions of selling one of those books because they can't sell them in the first place. But when it comes to other publishers or other books or even other categories, it'll happen. Like I have friends that sell, like I'm bragging about selling 1 million in books in 3 months. I have friends that sell 1 million in books in 1 month. And they talk about how they have like 30 plus IP complaints open at all times. So just whenever you're selling a lot of an item, there's going to be anything you sell on Amazon. If you're selling a lot of different items, and as booksellers, we're selling like a bunch of different books. There's going to be a bunch of publishers that say the books are counterfeit, or they say you don't have rights to this listing, and it's just going to happen. So it's just something to deal with. Do your best not to send in counterfeit items. But you probably will at some point get an IP complaint. It's not rare. And if it's from somebody that Amazon really respects, they may shut your account down. It's very important to be hyper proactive on if you get an account shut down. Like, don't sit around for a week and wait. If you get an account shut down, you can get it back up in a couple weeks if you're proactive. So be very proactive with everything that's going to happen with your account shutdown. Reach out to me if you guys have questions about account shutdowns. If you ever get an account shutdown, I like helping people out in those positions because I've been in that position before and it sucks.
Yeah, Landshark Picker is here. He says, I didn't know. It's not an excuse. Amazon doesn't care if you know or not. Well, I'm just curious. I mean, if no one's ever been sold on Amazon before and they didn't know if the book was counterfeit, you know, if you don't know, you don't know. I mean, the only way you're going to find out is through trial and error. Sleepless Hustler says, I used to sell on Amazon. It is very profitable, but also time consuming. If I had time, I would sell on Amazon full time. Yeah, so talk a little bit about that. If someone wanted to get started on being a bookseller, if they wanted to do it part-time or full-time, what type of time commitment would you need? How much money would you need to allocate towards buying inventory? And what type of tools would you need to get started? Like, you would need a printer, you would need a scanner. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so starting out, let's say you want to go part-time. Let's say you want to make an extra $2,000 a month. Completely doable. If you dedicate, you know, maybe 5-10 hours a week to sourcing books, you want to make sure that you're getting as much out of your time as possible. So when you go out to thrift stores, map out every thrift store, every library, every used bookstore in your area, and start going to all those places and scanning books. In addition to that, you want to get books from people's houses. So post on Facebook Marketplace, post on Craigslist, post on OfferUp, post on all these apps. There's dozens of different methods to get books. Try like 10 of them starting out and see which one works best in your city. So dedicate the 5 to 10 hours that you have outside of your job, because let's be realistic, like that's probably how much time most people actually do have, because you only have so much time in a day, and you got your wife, kids, whatever, like people are busy. You got to eat dinner, you got to shower, like you only probably have like quality 5 to 10 hours to dedicate if you have a full-time job. So with that time, you want to make sure that you're getting as many profitable books as possible. And so scan the nonfiction, scan fast, use the app ScoutIQ, pay for the $44 a month plan instead of the $14 a month plan, because the $44 a month plan is way faster because you get the downloadable database, and just take massive action. Now, if you want to go full-time, there's much different advice for people that it's my goal to have 100 full-time Amazon sellers. And I give much different advice to the people that want to take it to the next level versus people that want to do it part-time. So an extra $2K a month, run with that advice I just gave you. But if you want to go full-time, you got to be thinking in the back of your head, how do I build a business that can operate without me? Because that's the true definition of a business, is something that generates money while you're not there. So it's very important to focus on systems. And as a bookseller, you want to focus on 3 systems. The first system is finding the books. The second system is listing the books and shipping them to Amazon. The third system is repricing the books. The good thing about the third system is you can automate that. You can use Repricer, all your inventory is being repriced, good to go. The second system is very easy to delegate, and I actually hired my first employee when I still lived at my parents' house. This is a mental block for many resellers and entrepreneurs in general, is to hire their first person. So I recommend hire your first lister ASAP. You only have 5 to 10 hours a week to dedicate to your business. Don't spend 2 of those hours listing books if you don't have to. Hire somebody instead. I know it may seem like not a big deal at first, and it may seem like a waste of time to have somebody else work for you. But what I recommend is get a stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home moms are hyper qualified for their work. I have a teacher that works for me. I have a CPA that lists books for me, because they can make an extra $12 per hour from their living room, because that's how much I pay. I pay $12 an hour. So you can hire somebody very cheap and easily, and I recommend hiring somebody from their house. And even for eBay people out there, hire somebody and have them pack your eBay, have them store your eBay products in their house. I know that like people are probably freaking out right now, like they can't deal without having control of their inventory, but that's what Amazon FBA is. You give all your inventory away anyway. So, and a lot of Amazon FBA people, they'll use the excuse, well, I can't fathom having somebody else pack my inventory for me. So the thing is this, though, if you want to go full time, I paid $60,000 last year to people packing books for me. Let's do the math real quick. $60,000, I pay them $12 an hour. 60,000 divided by 12 is 5,000 hours divided by 52 weeks in a year. 96 hours a week is what I would have spent listing my items if I would have been doing it all myself. where am I going to find 96 hours a week in addition to already building my businesses? So if you truly want to go full time, hiring is an absolute must. In my opinion, there's people that go full time without hiring. That's fine. But if your life is going to be much easier if you hire somebody to list for you. And then the first system is finding the books. And really, this is the system to focus on in order to build a profitable long-term book business. So you want to focus on long-term sources. So you want to be thinking, is this college going to want to work with me next year? Is this library, thrift store, whatever you post on these apps like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist? Do you have a scalable method to, can you predictably get 1,300 books every month or 1,500 or 15,000, like whatever your goals are? Can you consistently get that with the method you're doing? And if the answer is yes, then you have a good sourcing system. You just need to find a way to delegate it to where you're not the only one doing it. So that's my advice for somebody full-time versus part-time.
All right, cool. I wanted to say hi to Landshark Picker. Megan Jordan is here. Red Dirt Picker is in the house. Baldy Pal Picking, used to be Two Dudes Picking. He asked a question. He wants to know, I've heard Dollar Tree are good book sourcing. So if someone went to the Dollar Tree and they wanted to source books to resell on Amazon FBA, is that profitable? I mean, is that something that people can do?
I made a YouTube video about that, and they look like they did really well. I've never gone to Dollar Tree. I've gone to Dollar Tree to source books, but I guess I couldn't find the book section. I've been like 2 times in the last few weeks actually to check it out because I've heard about it. If you do go to Dollar Tree to source books, I recommend selling the books as new because you're buying them from a brand new source, and you'll get a little bit higher profit margins because of that. Keep your receipt because if Amazon asks, to verify that the product's new, you have your Dollar General receipt. That'll be good to have. I've sourced DVDs from Dollar Tree though. I keep saying Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Like in my head, it's the same thing. Like I don't know the difference between those two companies.
See, so all these people that send me messages and say I can't make money buying and reselling DVDs and Blu-rays at the Dollar Tree, you just heard it straight from Romer the Romer, because I sell DVDs and Blu-rays there all the time. I'll buy Blu-rays for $1 and then resell them on eBay all day long, and people are like, oh no, you can't make money at the Dollar Tree. I'm like, bro, I will literally spend $100 at the Dollar Tree and turn $100 into $1,000 just selling media. It doesn't happen overnight, but once you start listing them, they'll start selling. Right. So yeah, so what I was going to say is about the Dollar Tree books, you need to look on some of these books. They put a marker at the bottom of it, like a little remainder mark. And if they put that remainder mark on the book, you can't resell it as new. You can, it'll be like new, but if they put that little remainder mark, or they put like they'll put like a little slash mark through like the barcodes or something, or they'll put a remainder mark. Some of those books are necessarily, they may be new condition, but it'll be like new. Go ahead. I wanted to, we had a question from Red Dirt Picker. He says, where is the best places for bulk book buys? So if he wanted to buy like a big pallet or a big skid, like you've seen Reezy Resell's book when he had a big forklift and he had big gaylords of books. So if someone wanted to source big pallets or big bulk purchases of books, how would they go about doing that?
The best way is just call your local thrift stores. Call every thrift store around you, get a feel for the pricing. The biggest bottleneck for bulk sellers is processing enough inventory like quickly enough, but like everybody's going to bottleneck at some point. Like it might be a few gaylords a month. Like let's say you land a deal, like you're all excited about it and you get 4 gaylords a month and that's enough for you part-time to do it. Okay, great. Eventually you'll upgrade to doing a few truckloads a month, but every bookseller I know eventually bottlenecks usually about 2 truckloads a month, if not a little bit more. It becomes tough for them. So what it comes down to is how good is that source, because it's easy for one source to be twice as good as another source. Pretty easy. Like if the ASP at one source is average sales price is $11 and the average sales price at another source is like $16 and you're getting the same yield from each of these, you really need to focus on the higher sales price. So make sure before you lock down a source long-term that it is truly profitable and it's the best source that you can find near you, because you're going to bottleneck with how much you can process. And pretty soon, you're not going to be able to handle any more books. So make sure the books that you have are truly profitable. And another good source for bulk books, or if you can find a source with textbooks, you're going to raise your ASP so much that it's worth going after. So if you can get a source near a college, or if you get a college as the source, that's huge right there. So maybe work with K through 12 schools, colleges. Those sources are going to be much more lucrative because textbooks have a much higher sales price.
Okay, awesome. Now, if somebody is getting started on reselling books, right? What are some of the sales? If they're new to Amazon, they have a certain sales rank. Like, do you want to be under 1 million sales rank? Because the two things you're looking for is the book going to sell and how much profit is in the book, right? And also, can you talk a little bit about how much the fee is going to be for the ScoutIQ?
You sound like you've been listening to my content with those 2 tips.
Go ahead.
So what the first question? Can you repeat the first question?
The first question is, okay, when I'm looking for books, the 2 things we're looking for is how profitable is the book and how quickly will the book sell. So it's going to be like the ranking of the book, right? So what would we look for in that?
So the most important thing is eScore. So if you look here at ScoutIQ again, if everyone's looking at the screen, you can see this has a sales rank of 410, which is absolutely insane. That means it sells multiple times, probably multiple times a minute. And then the eScore is actually more telling. So you see the eScore is 151. That means it's sold in the last 151 days. It's had at least 1 sale for the last 151 days. So this is very helpful when we deal with high demand books. So let's say a book that is worth, or a book that has a sales rank of 2 million. Let's see if I can find one right now. If you have a sales rank of over 2 million, that's kind of where it gets iffy. It's like if it's over 2 million, but it's $20 profit, you don't really know what to make of it because it could never sell again. Or you can look at the eScore, which is a separate metric other than sales rank that tells you how many times does the book sell in the last 151 days. And if the eScore is 3, that means it's sold at least, it's had a day with a sale at least 3 times over the last 151 days. So I would pay $1 for a book that might make me 20 in that case. I've found that a lot of people swear by the 1 million mark, but I've found like give it at least 2 or 3 million before you throw it away as like not being a good book. If it's like 3+ million, then I'm like, okay, this probably won't ever sell. But I've sold 5 million ranked books before for hundreds of dollars. So it's really important to look at the eScore. And if the eScore is not available, really educate yourself on Keepa. Keepa is a graph you can look at online, and it's worth knowing how to read a Keepa graph whenever you come across a book that's 5 million ranked, but it's worth $900. Because then you can say, it actually sells for $700 consistently according to Keepa, and then you can invest the $25 that you were scared to invest in it because you have faith that it will sell again in the future.
Okay, so you want to look at their sales rank of the book. You want to see how profitable the book is, right? And you're looking for like the sell-through rate of that book to see if it's going to take a month, 3 months, 6 months, however long it's going to take to sell that book, right? Because there is storage fees with Amazon FBA if it's over a certain time limit, correct?
Yes, exactly. They're always changing it, but I think right now, somebody could correct me, it's either 6 months or 12 months when long-term storage fees hit. So you want to make sure that you're, if you buy a book that's $100 profit and storage fees on that book are a couple bucks a year, and it takes 3 years to sell the book, it'd be worth it, Just set up a good system for it. Like storage fees aren't the end of the world. You want to make sure all your inventory is not stale, though. You want to make sure you're not paying $1 for thousands of books that shouldn't even be there in the first place.
Okay, cool. Now, how much does ScoutIQ cost a month? They charge you a fee to have the ScoutIQ app?
So there's a $14 a month plan and there's a $44 a month plan. I recommend the $44 a month plan because it's so much faster. And when you're a bookseller, it's all about finding the good book as quickly as possible and getting through the bad books. So if you can scan books faster, you're able to find more profit. So it's all about speed.
Okay, now if I'm a new bookseller, okay, let's say I'm new to selling books, I'm new to Amazon. How much capital do I need to get started in this business? Like, is there going to need a scanner, a printer? Like, there's a checklist of stuff that you're going to need, right?
So you don't need really anything. What you can do is, like, if I started over with $0, like zero credit history, like nothing at all, and I was living in the Corolla again, I would approach this differently because I didn't know you could get books for free, but you can get books for free. So if you go on Nextdoor, if you guys are interested in getting books, go on Nextdoor, download Nextdoor right now. everybody listening, like if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, download this app and make a post that says, I will pick up your books at no charge. So everybody knows the company 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and these junk removal companies, college hunks hauling junk. Like there's all these different junk removal companies. You are going to be a junk removal company. You're going to take all the books from people's houses for absolutely free. You're not going to charge them anything. But what you're going to do with these books is you're going to sell them on Amazon. And you'd be surprised how many people will reach out to you and have collections of thousands of books that are worth thousands of dollars, and you can go to them and pick them up for absolutely free. Now, is it hard work? It's absolutely hard work. You're going to be bending over, picking up boxes. Like, you are a removal service. The only reason why you're getting them for free is you're taking everything. So you can easily source free inventory if you frame yourself as a removal service. You can go on Nextdoor and post in your community that you're the book removal person. So that's how you get free inventory. Now, if you don't want to, you can get ScoutIQ free trial, which I highly recommend. But if you don't want to spend money on ScoutIQ, you can use the Amazon seller app and just look at the sales rank and look at the price of the book and do the math in your head. It's under 2 million rank. Romer said that's good. It's over $10 price. Like if you just do those two metrics right there, it's under 2 million and over $10, the lowest price. Like you can use the Amazon seller app and you're good. And then when it comes to listing the books, you can also list the books for free. You can list the books in the Amazon seller app. You can scan the book with the Amazon seller app and list it like that. So you don't need, I used to not even have a printer. I would go to UPS and I would use their paper. You can find boxes outside of liquor stores. You don't have to pay for boxes. Sure, you could pay $500 to start a book business and order all the supplies. And if you have a few $1,000s that you want to invest in your business, it would be a great investment to spend $500 on supplies, various printers, different things like that. But if you're bare bones, like you're looking to make money and you don't have any capital at all, you can do this for free.
Yeah, I was going to say that if you guys look also on Craigslist, I see people all the time that post ads in free section, or to say like free book removal. And if you go look on the free section, like on a Saturday or Sunday, people have stuff left over from yard sales and they give away for free. So I've actually done that before. And I went to someone's house, they had a ton of books, and I loaded up my back seat and trunk of books, and I sold them on eBay. And the ones that were junk that I couldn't sell, I just donated them to the thrift store. And the ones that I could sell for at least $10 or $15 or more, I would sell them on eBay. So your buy cost essentially is zero, and you're just basically trading your time for money as opposed to having money tied up in books. So that is a viable option if you want to try that out. I mean, you have no money tied up in it, and see if you like it. You may not like it. That's the thing. So Romer to Romer, man, give me some more information. So I want to know, this is my biggest question I have for you today, okay? Now, if somebody wants to be a part-time bookseller, or they want to sell books and DVDs, and they want to sell CDs part-time on Amazon, what kind of money can someone make per month if they devoted time into it? Like if they actually said, hey, you know what? I'm going to listen to Romer the Romer. I don't know enough about Amazon, but I'm going to give it a shot. What kind of money can I realistically make per month? Like, is it $1,000 a month, $2,000? Like some of your students that you have, what type of realistic expectations should they have if they want to get started?
Yeah, I would aim for at least like 5,000 a month, maybe even more, like 6,000, because that amount's going to fluctuate throughout the year. So if you aim for 6,000 and you have a month that's not that great, then maybe you're only at 3,500 or 4,000. But if you aim for 4,000 each month, which is probably like an average income, then if you have a bad month, you're at like 2,500, and you're really struggling to pay your bills. So I would aim for definitely a higher amount. Now it's easy to say that, aim for a higher amount, but like, what do you actually have to do? You want to make sure that you know your average sales price and you know how much you're selling each month. And so if you have 2,000 books in inventory, which is kind of where you can start going full time, in my opinion, once you have that much in inventory, as long as your sales price is above 16, 18 bucks, it's not like super low. If you have 2,000 books in inventory and you're selling 20% of your inventory each month, that's 400 books you're selling at, let's say 20 bucks each. What's 400 times 20? That's 8,000 in sales. So just do the math. I don't have to break it down here, but just do the math and say, how much do you want to make each month? And then what are your current numbers? And how can you hit that? And how many books do you have to source each day? How many CDs do you have to source each day? And if you're consistent with this, like actually consistent, like you go out every weekend, you go out every weekday you can, And if you follow my advice on delegation, I recommend you do. But if not, like maybe you're just a solopreneur and Sundays are your listing days where you list all your items, whatever it is, you can make really decent money with this. I think where a lot of people fall short is they just don't dedicate the time. They just don't, maybe they just don't love it and they move on to something else. So it's important to really make it so you have stamina in this. Like make sure you're able to do this for long hours if you have to. Like I know people who do this like 4 hours a day, like less, and they're probably making like 10,000 profit each month. Like you just do it smart, which means go after like the most profitable items you can with the least amount of effort. And you'll find that over time. Like don't go to the thrift store where you never get anything. Like just because it's on your route, you don't have to go there. Like only go to the ones. 20% of your sources are going to give you 80% of your revenue. So make sure to cut out all the 80% of the sources that are only bringing in 20% of your revenue. It's a 20-80 law. So focus on consistent, profitable sources, and you can stack those on top of each other, and you're going to get better over time at realizing where you should put your time and energy to get the most money.
Yeah, I think the biggest complaint I hear from people is they go to a thrift store or they'll go to a library sale and the books have already been picked over already. So it's like they feel like they're scanning barcodes just to be scanning barcodes, looking for profitable items, and it's already been picked through. So could you talk about maybe some ways where you can think outside the box where you can get merchandise that hasn't been picked through already?
100%. Yeah, I call these king walrus sourcing strategies. So there's an analogy of in the North Pole right now, if you guys go on Netflix and type in walrus documentary or Google it, there's a documentary that talks about how the glaciers are melting up north and all the walruses are going to rocks. Now, most of the walruses are going to the same rocks. And I think it's really silly because they all go to the same rock. They're all piled up on top of each other. They can't go out and fish because all the other walruses have already ate the fish, and they don't sleep very comfortably. And so there's this one walrus I call the king walrus. He swam to a rock all by himself or with his family. He brought his family with him. This is a fictional character. I made him up. And he's at that rock by himself. And I put a little crown on his head because it's symbolic of him being a king. He's thinking outside the box. He's got all the fish to himself. He's got all the space to himself. His family's happy. His family's fed. And it's just because he worked a little bit harder than all the other walruses. He swam a little bit further. He went through some colder water to get to that rock all by himself. And it's the same thing in business. In business, you know, if everybody's doing one thing, do something else. Especially in reselling, if everybody's going to the same library, go to the other library. If everybody's going to the same thrift stores and they're all picked over and you're competing to get in there at 9 a.m. when the doors open, find a different way. So a couple of things you can do right off the bat. The next door thing I was talking about earlier, even though that's like a free way of sourcing, it is one of the best ways to source because you're getting books that nobody else has touched. No other reseller has gone to that person's house and scanned their books. You're getting absolutely raw, unpicked books. That's a great place to start. But when it comes to thrift stores and libraries, you want to provide more value for the thrift store and library than anybody else has who walked in those doors. So you can do this by offering to organize the back. You could say, hey, would you mind me like going through the books in the back? I can help organize them by category. I can help, you clear up space. I'll purchase as many as I can. I'm a bulk bookseller. And now you're providing value because you're clearing up space and you're organizing, and you're also providing value by being a good person. If you're nice, even if you're not the most charismatic, as long as you're making someone feel important, you're providing value there. So if you make the manager feel like they're, doing a good job just by being nice to them, complimenting them, then you're also providing value to that person. So you're providing value 3 different ways. And you can get a lot of books. If you're the only person in the back room and there's nobody else back there, you can get a lot of inventory. So backroom access, I always preach that. But backroom access is really just scratching the surface. Really what you want is you want all the books to yourself all the time. And you can do that by local pickups, bulk relationships have that, which is cool. Bulk relationships, you're getting pallets that nobody else has scanned through. You just really want exclusivity to your sources. You don't want anybody else to go through them. And that's really the premise of King Walrus sourcing. Maybe you find even weird arbitrage opportunities in the market. Like for example, me, I can kind of share my weird arbitrage opportunity because nobody else can do this. But on eBay, there's a lot of restricted books like this that people are selling for dirt cheap prices. And I pick them up on eBay and resell them on Amazon. So there's this weird arbitrage opportunity that works for me that I can do that most people can't. So look for that for yourself. Maybe you find a certain CD sells on Amazon like crazy, and for whatever reason, people on eBay can't sell it that much. There's not as much demand. You can go purchase that CD over and over again. You know exactly what CD is. You know, when you purchase a CD, somebody else on Amazon is going to buy it instantly. And so you can find these things, and as long as you don't go out and tell the whole world, you know, I'm like the YouTube guy. I tell a lot of my business secrets, but there's a lot of stuff I don't tell because it's just so good, you know, and I keep it to myself. Like there's a couple golden secrets I know in the industry that took me years to find out, that once you find those things out, you can't really share them, because if you share them, they ruin it for everybody. And for you, that might just be, you know, of like an underground bookstore nearby that nobody else knows about. And it'd be smart for you not to tell the whole reselling community about it, because that's your honey hole. And so it's not like necessarily like a bad thing. Like you need to find these things that really make it worth your time to get profitable books, and not just get, you know, a minimum wage salary for the year as a reseller, and actually get really decent income. So there's lots of different ways, but at the end of the day, it's not about just getting lucky. It's about providing value for businesses. It's about providing value for businesses and looking for opportunities that nobody else can really see.
Okay, awesome. I got a couple of questions for you, then we'll let you go. First question is, if you guys don't follow Romer the Romer, he did release a video recently on his YouTube channel talking about how to get get access to the back room to get access to books before the general public does. And also, have you done any online arbitrage? I saw online to have websites where you can get like books from the Goodwill, right? And then you can order them online. They'll have them shipped to your door, and you can turn around and resell them on eBay and Amazon. Have you done that before?
Buy them from Goodwill?
Yeah.
Nice. I don't know what website you're talking about. I purchase from Goodwill a lot, but I purchase from Goodwill on Amazon. I just purchase from the Goodwill store. But yeah, there's something called online arbitrage, which I kind of been touching on a little bit here. Like eBay to Amazon is great, but there's also huge opportunities with purchasing Amazon on Amazon. So I actually can show you guys real quick on my screen here. This is when you really want to understand Keepa Graph. So in order to do online arbitrage efficiently, you're going to want to understand Keepa. So let me pull up my screen here. So if everyone looks at the screen, you'll be able to see, hopefully not my social security number. There's another tab open that I should not click on that has all my bank information. But you guys should be able to see Keepa, this Keepa Graph. So this black line here shows the price history right here on the screen. This black line shows the price history of this book. So you can see it fluctuates over time, but this is only a 3-month period. It's really important to look at this over the course of a year. So you can see over the course of a year, it goes up and then it goes down, and it goes up during what we call textbook season. So when kids go back to class, August, September, the price goes up to, I always tell this book like $160 bucks. And I'll purchase it in the off season from anywhere from $70 to $100. So I'll buy it for $70 to $100, and I'll send it back in at $160. And depending on what I sell it for, I get anywhere from 100% ROI to 60% ROI. So yeah, this is a great strategy to use, and you can really start stacking up a bunch of different titles once you get good at this, and you know what titles to purchase each semester in order to make money. And there's people doing. Oh, sorry, I wasn't even sharing my screen with you guys. Let me. Was I sharing my screen?
We couldn't see it, but don't worry about it. It's okay. We couldn't see it, but you don't have to repeat yourself. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. So basically, like I'll just do a visual. What I was saying is the textbook prices go up during textbook season, and then they go down during the off season. So you want to purchase here and then send the book back in, and let's go over this way, and then price it at, let's say 160, and then you'll get the sale at 160. So it's like trading stocks almost. Like it goes up and down. It's really predictable. Every semester, every spring semester, January, February, and every fall semester, August and September, the prices kind of spike. So that's a good way to sell books from your living room. And let's say you just want to make, you know, an extra few $1,000s a year. You can just do that. You can make more than a few thousand. You could scale your business huge, but with online arbitrage, it is capital intensive. You're paying $70 to make $70. You're paying $70 to gross 140 and put $70 bucks back in your pocket. So it is capital intensive, and you do have to be patient with that.
Okay, Romer the Romer, we're running out of time because I usually do this for about an hour. We've been streaming for 55 minutes. So this is the deal. We're going to do rapid fire. Give me your top 3 tips that would help somebody. If they're new to doing retail arbitrage, they're new to reselling on Amazon, what are the top 3 tips that they would need to do as a bookseller and to sell media items? What are the top 3 tips that would help somebody as far as launching their business to resell on Amazon?
So what I would do, tip number 1 is I would post on platforms like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, Nextdoor. I would post on all of those that you will pick up books for free. Tip number 2, find a good system for listing the books and batch this. You don't want to list your books every single night of the week. Otherwise, you're listing 7 nights of the week. You want to list once a week, and preferably hire somebody else to list the books for you, but prove the concept first before you go out and hire a bunch of people. So once a week, I would list. And then tip number 3 is I would focus on whatever sourcing worked for you. I would focus on going back to that source again. So if Craigslist was like crazy awesome for you, keep going on Craigslist. If Facebook Marketplace was crazy good for you, go there. And then cut everything that didn't work. So you really want to fine tune. Like I could give tips on how to build systems and all that stuff, but really that doesn't matter until you have a ton of profitable books, because what's going to pay for all these systems to run is profitable books. So focus on getting as many profitable books as possible.
Okay, one more question for you, Romer. How would somebody go about making enough money on Amazon where they could quit their job and be a full-time reseller? How would they go about doing that?
Just do the math and look at how many books you need to sell each month to replace your income. Is your income 60,000, 80,000, 100,000, 42,000, whatever it is? Divide that number by, usually about, for cherry pickers like me and other people. What I mean by cherry pickers is going out to places and finding books and scanning them versus bulk. The average profit's about $10. So if your income is 80,000, divide that by 10, and then that's how many books you would need to replace your income. So that would come out to 8,000 books, I think. So how can you get 8,000 books every year, 10,000 books every year, and then divide that by 12? How can you get that many books each month, and then divide that by weeks? How can you get that many books every single week in order to hit that number? Because that number is what's going to allow you to have that consistent, predictable income. So it's all about reaching that inventory level of X amount, and then making sure you replenish the inventory every single month, every single week, really every single day, to make sure that inventory number never drops down too low.
So the sounds like the key is reinvesting your money back in your business to buy more merchandise. Hey, who's that behind you? I saw somebody sneaking by you.
In the house.
Hey.
This is eBay Addicts. What up?
Hey. Hey, what's up, man? I messaged you on Instagram. You never messaged me back, bro. What's up with that, man?
I'll tell you right now, I'm not huge into going through all the messages and stuff, man. Super busy with business. So for me, when I go into social media, 3 hours of the day goes by. But I'll definitely take a look if you want to send me another message.
All right, I'll send you a message. Hey, guys, so tell people where they can follow you at, Romer the Romer. Tell them where they can follow you at on Instagram and YouTube.
Romer the Romer. You can follow Rake and Profit. Romer the Romer on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, every single platform you can think of. That's ROMER, the ROAMER.
All right, awesome. I just wanted to say hi to some people in the chat. I wanted to say hi to Mel from Back from Burnout. I wanted to say hi to Jennifer Hayes. I wanted to say hi to Landshark Picker, Red Dirt Picker, Guan Pug. I don't know if I pronounced your name properly, but thanks you guys for hanging out with me today, and Two Dudes Picking. So guys, go ahead and follow Romer the Romer. His links are going to be down in the description below. Go follow him on Instagram and YouTube, and he can give you more information if you want to learn more about selling on Amazon and more about selling on books. And I think he said his goal was to help 100 people be able to put their 2 weeks notice in, quit their job, and be full-time resellers. So that's definitely the goal. So hey, thanks for hanging out with me today, man. I appreciate you. You guys have a great day, guys. Bye.
Yeah.